So welcome to Scanner School. My name is Phil Lichtenberger. This is session number 71. We're talking about DSDPlus today. So again, DSDPlus is a piece of software that is unbelievable. And it's even more unbelievable that it is for free. So today's session of Scanner School is sponsored by our brand new training course, An Introduction to SDR. Now this course is designed to walk you through the process of installing a $30 SDR and transforming it into something that will operate as well or even better than today's top of the line couple $100 scanners. So I'll teach you how to set up analog P25, DMR, NXDN, and trunking using simple hardware and software and your existing Windows computer setup. Now for more information about this training, you can go to scannerschool.com/courses. Now again, all notes from today's podcast can be found on our website at scannerschool.com/session71.
Welcome to The Scanner School, a podcast dedicated to the scanner radio hobby. Class is about to begin. Here is your host, Phil Lichtenberger.
So DSDPlus. Man, I've been using this software for years, and I'm still scratching my head on how something like this is available not only for free, but also a really cheap paid version as well. So DSDPlus has been out maybe 5 or 6 years now, and it's a Windows-based program. And again, it's like the Swiss Army knife of digital decoding. Now, using the power of your computer, it can take the following digital signals and play them out using your computer speakers. So it can do P25, including Phase 1, Phase 2, and X2 TDMA trunking. It can handle DPMR, DMR, including Capacity Plus, Connect Plus, Tier 3, IDAS, NXDN, NextEdge 48 and 96. It'll handle Pro Voice, XPT, and for those of us who are in the amateur radio world, D-Star and Yaesu Fusion are now making their way into DSDPlus. So DSDPlus, again, is a lot more than just an application that runs on your computer. DSDPlus is like a suite, or a software suite rather, of utilities that can be used independently or can be used together. DSDPlus relies on a piece of software called FMP to tune your SDR. So instead of using something like SDR Sharp, you can use FMP as a command line tool to set up your SDR. And DSDPlus and FMP, they kind of talk to each other. So when one's doing one thing and the other's doing the other, they know what's going on. So they'll control your SDR a lot better than if you're running just SDR Sharp. Now, FMP also allows you to load in a frequency database. So when you're tuning around using FMP, you'll see on the grid who is licensed for that frequency that you are tuning into. Or when you look at the spectrum again and you're seeing spikes on the spectrum, you can hover over that and see who's registered to that as well. It's pretty cool. Additionally, there's mapping utilities with the DSDPlus program suite. Again, I'm calling it a program suite, but really it's just called DSDPlus. You can use a mapping tool called LRP, or LARP, I guess if you want to say it that way. But basically, it plots out the GPS locations if the radios that you're monitoring will do broadcast to GPS. So sometimes if you're monitoring like a DMR system, and I've seen it where you have like oil delivery trucks or maybe taxi cabs, and when they transmit, you'll get a blip on the map as to where these radios are basically located at that time. GPS is also very popular in the D-Star environment, where a lot of hams have GPS hooked up to the radios. So if you're monitoring a D-Star system using DSDPlus on the LARP map, you'll also see where these radios are as well. But also for those of us who are using a piece of program that's elevated, the fast lane release, there's also a survey tool which will plot out your location and then the location of the transmitter that you are monitoring using FMP. So yeah, I snuck that in here. I snuck in Fastlane. So what is the difference between DSDPlus and then DSD Plus Fastlane. So there's 2 releases, right? There's a free version, DSD Plus. You just go to dsdplus.com and download that right now. And that's been stuck on version 1.1.01 since about December 2015. Now, again, that's good enough to get you started. It does a lot, but it doesn't do everything that Fastlane does. You're not going to get P25 Phase 2 on the public release 1.1.01. You're going to have to go up to the Fastlane. Now, the Fastlane is what we consider in the software world as being a alpha release, right? That's one newer than a beta release. First, you might have release candidates, alphas, betas, and then you'll go into the public release of the software. So Fastlane, again, is considered alpha. It can be buggy, but this is all part of the hobby. But you're going to get the latest and greatest patches and plugs and the cutting-edge version of DSD Plus when you go with the Fastlane. So again, Fastlane supports P25 Phase 2. It has more DMR support, and it's supposed to also have support for Yaesu Fusion, and that's non-existent in the public 1.01 release. Now again, to show you the difference between about Fastlane and the public release, again, public release at this date, we're in April 2019, 1.1.01 has been stuck here for the last 4 years. The Fastlane release that was just released last month is 2.169. So there has been a lot of development between the public release and the Fastlane release. So again, I'm not here to try and sell you the Fastlane release. There's no affiliate program. There's no way of me earning any type of money by you going out there and upgrading into the Fastlane. I'm just giving you my honest thoughts on the software and what it can do for you. And again, the Fastlane release is pretty affordable. The most you'll spend on the Fastlane is $25, and that's for a lifetime subscription. Now, there's a $10 tier as well, but for what you're getting for the $25 tier, it's well worth just going for it because you'll get a lifetime sub. Anything that comes out from the point that you pay using PayPal, you'll get every single upgrade to DSD Plus Fastlane. And it is well worth it. So what do you need in order to run DSD Plus? Well, first you're going to need, again, a Windows computer. Now, I'm not really that sure how early you're going to need to go into Windows. I don't know if it's going to operate on Windows XP or not. I assume it will, but it may not. I mean, I'm running now at this point, I'm running Windows, at least Windows 7 on everything that I'm operating. So, again, it may work on XP, it may not. You'll have to try it out and then let me know. But you'll also need some way of monitoring the digital signal that's coming through the computer. So for that, you will need a set of speakers or a headset in order to monitor the digital traffic. You also need some way of getting audio into the computer so that DSD Plus can take it apart and demodulate it and play it back to you. So the easiest way to do it is just to use an SDR. Let the computer handle everything. Let FMP do its magic and just bring the audio in. But you might also need a virtual audio cable to move some audio, pipe audio through the softwares. But again, just to get started out of the box with one SDR dongle and DSD Plus, it just works. It's pretty easy. If you're old school like some of us and you have some old radios laying around and you've tapped into the discriminator port, you can actually bring your discriminator audio in to your sound card and then have DSD Plus monitor that if you'd like to do that as well. Now again, that's a possibility, but for those of you who have never experimented with DSD Plus, an SDR is the easiest way to do it. Again, unless you have discriminator tapped radios floating around and you want to play around with it, that's entirely up to you. I got plenty of discriminator tapped radios that were floating around because that's back in the day, that's how you did it. And so it allows you to keep those radios at least used in your scanning setup. So how do I use DSD Plus? Well, I think, remember, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, a few months ago, about 6 months now, I went on a Disney cruise. And I brought on board my laptop and a couple of USB sticks. We'll We'll just call them USB sticks for now. And by using my special USB sticks, I was able to sniff out the ship's DMR trunk system. The system was encrypted, but at least I was able to see, okay, there's a couple of talk groups in here. I can see we've got about 3 or 4 frequencies in the system. And I was able to see at least where the radios were, what talk groups were active. Yes, they were encrypted, but it at least allowed me to map out the system. And that was pretty cool from being stuck at the middle of Atlantic, at least to get my radio fix, right? I was able to at least see what was going on board. When we ported, I was able to then take DSDPlus and start looking at the local trunk systems and start monitoring the local trunk systems. It didn't matter to me if they were going to be analog, P25, DMR. Because they had DSDPlus on my computer, I was set no matter what I was getting myself into. Right? It could have been basically any type of trunk system that wasn't encrypted. I'd be able to at least monitor it using my dongles and DSDPlus. And again, I didn't have to worry either, too, about having something already set up in my scanner, because where I was going wasn't really populated in the radio reference database. I was going in blind. I was going to do my homework. And using DSDPlus made it very quickly just to get onto something and start monitoring what was going on. So I've also used DSDPlus to try and map out a local unknown DMR system that we tripped over. I was listening to one frequency, noticed that there was DMR also on the same frequency, and I started snooping around. Hooked up DSDPlus, and I started mapping out the logical channel numbers, talk groups, radio IDs, and in a couple of days' time, I had the system pretty much mapped out. Again, DSDPlus made it very easy to get that information and start viewing it. I also use DSDPlus to monitor local P25 trunk systems and DMR systems. So before I had DMR keys in my unit and radios, probably even before they were available, I was using DSDPlus to go through that. I think that was even back when the days where it was called DMR decode or DS decode or something like that as well. So again, I've been using DSDPlus for quite a while. Now again, DSDPlus isn't rocket science. It isn't all that difficult to get installed or get operational, but it does require you to be comfortable with using a DOS prompt in your computer. Now, again, I know for those of you who want to get technical here, before you start smashing your keyboards or your smartphones to email me to say there's no DOS in Windows, I understand that. I'm just trying to put this into relative text here. I know that when you go into the DOS prompt on your computer, you're actually going into the command window or your command shell, and you're in the pseudo DOS environment that's not really DOS anymore, but it's your command line interface in Windows. So if the black window with the flashing gray cursor intimidates you, you may not want to jump headfirst into DSDPlus. You can navigate to where you've installed DSDPlus, and you can find some pre-made batch files that you can modify to your own use and use those to launch DSDPlus. Now again, DSDPlus is a command line with a bunch of flags that tells DSDPlus what to enable and what to disable. And again, it also tells FMP what frequency to go to and what to enable and disable in FMP. If you're comfortable playing around with bat files, you'll be comfortable enough to at least get DSDPlus up and running. But again, it isn't rocket science. This isn't like building and compiling software from scratch. If you can navigate your way around it, you can get DSDPlus to run. Now, if you're not at that point, just hang tight because I'll get you there. So now, using a few SDR dongles and a copy of DSDPlus, you can easily set up a DMR system, P25, or any other digital trunking setup for a fraction of the cost of a digital scanner. So if you're interested in setting up DSDPlus, if you want to jump into DSDPlus Fastlane, I recommend it. You can go to DSDPlus.com. You download the commercial version of DSDPlus. In the README and notes section will be information on how to register and get your Fastlane. Okay, you're not going to find it on the website. Download the software, crack open the text files, and in the text files at the bottom will be how to register for Fastlane. But if you want additional help on how to set up DSDPlus, my new training course, my Introduction to SDR workshop, is exactly what you are looking for. So in this SDR workshop, I will be showing you and guiding you through how to install and set up an SDR dongle. In the next lesson, I'm going to show you how to monitor a conventional system analog using SDR Sharp. The following module is going to have you listening to digital conventional systems using DSDPlus. From there, in the next module, we'll bring you into the trunking world using DSDPlus. So you'll be able to monitor DMR and P25. And then in the fourth session, we're going to bring on another piece of software called Unitrunker, which will allow you to see even more of what's going on in a trunk system. But we're going to route that audio right back through DSDPlus. Now, going this route with Unitrunker, we'll be able to monitor analog talk groups as well as digital talk groups. So if you're listening to something that operates with Pro Voice, or even the Type 2 Motorola systems that have both analog and digital, you'll be able to pipe that through your computer. And again, for a fraction of the price of a digital scanner, you'll be off to the races monitoring a digital trunk system. Now, another neat feature I failed to mention in DSDPlus earlier is that it plays really nice with systems that have multiple time slots, like DMR and Phase 2 P25. In the left channel, you'll get time slot 1. In the right channel, you'll get time slot 2. It's really cool when you're listening to something, all of a sudden you hear both speakers light up with two different conversations. You can also toggle DSDPlus to eliminate one of those channels if you want, but it's there and it's really cool. So again, if you're interested in learning how to use DSDPlus and you're intimidated on doing it by yourself, you can go to scannerschool.com/courses. If you go there a little bit in the future, you may find out that the workshop is open and available for purchase. But if you're going there right away, you'll notice that the training session is already booked. And I am already bringing people on to the next round of the workshop. So if you notice the waiting list, go ahead and sign up. All we need to do is fill out your name and your email, and that will put you into my waiting list for when the course is available again. So again, Module 1 is going to be setting up and installing your SDR dongle and getting you into analog reception. Module 2 is be setting up DSDPlus, which is the software we talked about today. Again, DSDPlus allows you to monitor DMR, P25, NXDN. It's starting to grow with Yaesu Fusion, D-Star. I mean, it is the Swiss Army knife of digital reception. And again, you can get into it for free or a $25 lifetime upgrade on it. Well worth the price. Module 3 is going to be installing or using DSDPlus to monitor digital trunking. And then Module 4 will be using Unitrunker and DSDPlus to get even more out of your trunk systems. Now, we might even go further than that with the training, but for right now, that's the core of the course. Again, this might grow as the course grows. And if you're on the waiting list, you'll find out exactly where we are with the SDR workshop. So again, DSDPlus.com is where you can download DSDPlus. If you want to check out my training course, scannerschool.com/courses, and all the show notes are available online, scannerschool.com/session71. All right, I want to thank our Patreon supporters, Anthony Saggio, Scott Vorder, Craig Harper, Brian Southworth, Dan, James Felling, Ken Newberry, Kenneth Fowler, MT Bono, Mark Beebe, Raymond Hild, and William Arcand. If you want to help support Scanner School, you can do so by going to scannerschool.com/support. We have links to become a Patreon supporter if you want to make a one-time PayPal donation. If you're buying software for your scanner from Butel, we are a Butel affiliate, and you can buy your software through us. If you're looking at buying new hardware, we have links to ScannerMaster or Amazon. And again, if you love Amazon as much as I do, and I love Amazon, I even buy my groceries from Amazon, you can click on our Amazon links and then buy anything you want from Amazon, and that will help Scanner School at no additional cost to you. So again, if you go to scannerschool.com/support, that's how you can help Scanner School. And don't forget, we have our training available at scannerschool.com/courses. And all the links and show notes can be had online at scannerschool.com/session71. Scanner School is copyright 2019, Monitor Long Island, Inc. My name is Phil Lichtenberger. This is Scanner School, where we teach you everything that you need to know about the scanner radio hobby. We'll catch you all again next Tuesday, 73.